Have you ever thought about what would still exist if humans were suddenly gone? Not next year, not in 1,000 years, but so far in the future that no one remembers our names, our languages, or even our faces. It's terrifying and exciting to think about. Because even though humans are temporary, some of the things we've made are not. Long after our cities crumble and our stories disappear, pieces of our existence could still be drifting through space or buried deep in the earth. In a strange way, we're already leaving behind a trail. Quiet evidence that we were once here. Every civilization in history has eventually vanished. Some slowly faded, others collapsed quickly, but none lasted forever. On a cosmic timescale, even our entire species exists for only a brief moment. That doesn't mean we disappear without a trace. Certain objects, signals, and changes we've made don't vanish when we do. They keep going. They stay behind, carrying clues about who we were, even when there's no one left to explain them. You can think of these as civilizational ghosts, not spirits, but leftovers. Remnants that outlive cultures, languages, and memories. Looking at these possible leftovers forces us to face two things at once: how fragile we are, and how badly we want to be remembered. One of the clearest examples of this is already far beyond Earth. In the late 1970s, humans launched two spacecraft called Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. At first, they had a simple job: fly past the outer planets and send back data. Once that mission was done, the spacecraft didn't stop. They kept moving. Today, both Voyager probes are traveling through interstellar space, the empty region between stars. They are no longer part of our solar system, and unless they hit something, they could continue drifting for billions of years. That alone is remarkable, but what makes them even more important is what they carry. Each Voyager probe has a golden record attached to it. This record isn't meant for humans. It's meant for anyone or anything that might find the spacecraft in the distant future. The record contains sounds from Earth, including music, greetings spoken in many languages, and everyday noises like wind and animals. It also contains images showing human life, our bodies, our planet, and basic ideas about math and science. There are even instructions showing how to play the record. This isn't a complete picture of humanity. It can't be. It reflects the values and knowledge of a small group of people at a specific time. But that's what makes it honest. It doesn't say this is who humans always were. It says this is who we were once. If another civilization ever finds one of these probes long after Earth has changed or vanished, this record might be the only direct message we leave behind. A small object floating through darkness, quietly saying we existed. Back on Earth, we've left other long-lasting signs too. Some human structures are far more durable than we expected. Ancient stone buildings, monuments, and cave art have already survived for thousands of years. They outlasted the people who made them. They outlasted entire cultures. If humans disappeared, nature would slowly reclaim most of our cities. Plants would grow through roads, water would break down buildings, steel would rust, concrete would crack. But this wouldn't happen overnight. Some structures would last for thousands of years before fully collapsing. Underground spaces might last even longer. Buried objects could remain protected from weather and erosion. Then there's something even more fragile yet strangely persistent: our data. Most of today's digital information doesn't last very long. Phones break, hard drives fail, software becomes unreadable. A lot of our digital world could vanish quickly if no one maintains it. But scientists are working on new ways to store information for very long periods of time. One of the most interesting ideas is storing data in synthetic DNA. DNA is incredibly dense. A tiny amount can hold massive amounts of information, and when stored correctly, it can remain stable for thousands of years. In theory, data stored this way could last far longer than paper books or modern computers. That means parts of our knowledge, art, or history could survive even after our technology is gone. All of these things act like time capsules. They don't tell a full story, but they show what we thought was important enough to preserve. Even if humans never tried to leave anything behind, Earth itself would still remember us. The planet keeps records in its own way. Over time, layers of rock, ice, and sediment build up. These layers trap physical evidence of what happened on the surface. Scientists already study these layers to learn about ancient climates and extinct species. Human activity has already left clear marks in these layers. Plastics are now found everywhere, deep in ocean sediments, frozen in ice, scattered across the planet. These materials don't break down easily. Long after humans are gone, future researchers would notice a strange layer filled with synthetic materials that don't appear naturally. We've also changed the planet's chemistry. Mining, construction and industry leave behind unusual concentrations of metals and other elements. Our burning of fossil fuels has changed the balance of carbon in the atmosphere, oceans and ice. Then there are nuclear traces. Radioactive materials released during nuclear tests don't disappear quickly. Some of them remain detectable for tens of thousands of years. These materials form a clear signal that a technological species once existed and briefly learned how to unlock enormous energy. It's a sharp marker in Earth's history. A moment where intelligence advanced faster than caution. Above the planet, there are more signs. Thousands of satellites orbit Earth. Many will eventually fall back down and burn up. But some, especially those far from the atmosphere, could remain intact for millions of years. Even if Earth's surface changes completely, artificial objects may still be circling it in silence. And then there are our signals. For nearly a century, humans have been sending radio waves into space. Television broadcasts, radar, communication signals. These waves move at the speed of light, spreading outward in all directions. Right now, Earth is surrounded by a growing bubble of radio noise, almost 100 light years wide. Any civilization inside that range with the right tools could detect that something artificial once came from this planet. Not random noise from stars, but structured signals. We've also sent deliberate messages. Some spacecraft carry engraved maps that show Earth's position using pulsars. Pulsars are rotating stars that emit steady signals, like cosmic clocks. Their patterns change very slowly, making them reliable markers over long periods of time. These maps act like an address. They say this is where we were at this point in the universe. There are even ideas about sending information in more permanent ways, encoding messages into particles or light that could survive enormous stretches of time. These ideas may or may not work, but they reveal something important about us. We want to be known. So what happens if someone finds all this? Future humans might discover these traces long after our current world is gone. Or another intelligent species might stumble across a drifting probe or detect old signals. They wouldn't see us clearly. They'd have fragments, objects without explanations, data without emotion. They'd have to guess what kind of species we were based on what survived. From the outside, we might look brilliant, or reckless, or both. Which leads to a deeper question. Why do we leave traces at all? Some of it is practical. We build things to last. We store information to pass it on. But there's something else underneath that. We know we won't last forever. Humans understand time well enough to fear being forgotten. We know our lives are short. We know our civilizations will end. That awareness pushes us to create things that outlive us, to leave proof. In a universe that doesn't remember easily, leaving a mark feels important, don't you think? Comment your thoughts down below and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.